From across the nation and around the world, for Pacifica Headlines, I'm Jesse Lent.
يا حبيبي يا حبيبي يا صاحبي واخوي وحبيبي نور عين امي. كيف بدي اصبر امي؟ اصبر حالي والله صبر امي.
The sister of 25-year-old Al Jazeera cameraman Ahmed Wishah, killed Saturday in an Israeli air attack on central Gaza's Berej refugee camp, breaks down beside his body in Gaza City yesterday. Footage and reporting courtesy of Al Jazeera. Wishah, who was killed in an airstrike that also killed 2 Palestinians, is the 12th Al Jazeera journalist killed by Israel in Gaza. The news organization calls the city the deadliest place for journalists in the world. Wishah's death comes just a few weeks after his brother Ahmed Wishah, who also worked for Al Jazeera, was killed in what the news organization calls deliberate Israeli shelling of his car. The two brothers had frequently worked together to document the war. In a statement to the AFP news agency on Saturday, an Israeli military spokesman accused Ahmed Wishah, without providing evidence, of being a, quote, Hamas terrorist. Al Jazeera called the accusation baseless, saying the Israeli military has, quote, relentlessly spread false allegations against its staff to, quote, justify its crimes against Al Jazeera journalists and cameramen in Gaza. These attempts deceive no one and cannot obscure the truth witnessed by the world, end quote. According to the Committee to Protect Journalists, at least 260 Palestinian journalists have been killed in Gaza since October 7, 2023, when Hamas-led militants killed 1,200 people in Israel, mostly civilians. According to the UN, between October 7, 2023 and June 14th of this year, 72,996 Palestinians were killed in the Gaza Strip, and another 173,246 were injured. The organization has labeled Israel's attacks on Gaza a genocide.
Never before has the Iranian and American leadership met at such a high level. What the president has asked us to do is turn over a new leaf, to transform our relationship with the people of Iran and to extend an outstretched hand that says to the people of Iran that if your leadership is willing to give up being a driver of regional instability, if they are willing to give up nuclear weapons ambitions for the long term, then the United States is willing to fundamentally transform our relationship with that country.
Vice President J.D. Vance speaking from Switzerland yesterday, where talks between U.S. and Iranian negotiators were held to hash out a peace deal after a memorandum of understanding was signed by both sides last week. Mediators from Pakistan and Qatar were also present at the negotiations. Israel has not been involved in the peace process, despite being the U.S.'s partner in the war on Iran, which the two countries began on February 28th. Footage courtesy of the AP. According to Al Jazeera, Iran's top negotiators have left Switzerland after 18 hours of intensive talks, but a team remains to continue technical negotiations on the Memorandum of Understanding. Pakistani and Qatari negotiators say the U.S. and Iran made, quote, encouraging progress on the first day of high-level talks and agreed on a, quote, roadmap for a final deal to be reached within 60 days. According to Reuters, the two sides agreed to a mechanism to end fighting between Israel and Iran-aligned Hezbollah militants in Lebanon and opened a communications line to help ensure safe passage for commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Technical talks will reportedly continue for the rest of the week in the Qatari-owned Swiss mountain resort of Bergenstock. However, Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar wrote in a post on X, quote, "We don't have territorial ambitions in Lebanon, but we will not withdraw from the security zone and expose our citizens to Hezbollah's attacks and possible invasion," as the U.S. and Israel's war on Iran enters its 115th day. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced his resignation today, bowing to what the New York Times described as a, quote, mutiny inside his party and a challenge to his leadership of the country. The most likely replacement for Starmer is Andy Burnham, whose resounding victory last week in a special election played a major role in his quest to oust the Prime Minister. Burnham, the former mayor of Greater Manchester and one of Labour's most popular politicians, received almost 55% of the vote in the Makerfield district. Starmer said he would remain as Prime Minister until a new party leader is selected by September, rather than fight to remain in the job he won almost 2 years ago. Those are the latest Pacifica headlines for the Pacifica Network. I'm Jesse Lent.